Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the 8th episode of Dopeless Nation. Let's go. Yeah. All right. Welcome back. We took a break last week. We're back on fuego, like my sponsor says, with some more for you. Thank you again and again and again, a million times over for listening. If you're not tuning into the Dopeless Nation podcast, if you're just finding this right now, catch up. Listen to the other episodes. Catch up to this episode right now. You know what? Stop listening to this one. Go listen to the other ones and meet me back here. I ain't going anywhere. Thank you for tuning in. So how good is life right now? I don't know about you, but being sober right now doesn't get better than anything else. If you woke up today sober, shout it out. Let somebody know. Let somebody know how you got there, how you got here today. Because, I remember yesterday and the day before and the day before that and what it was like before I got sober and how awesome it is to wake up without being a slave to a drink or a drug. I don't know about your God, but my God is good. Today is a good day. Before we go any further, I want to shout out a friend, somebody who listens to this podcast week in and week out. I felt bad because she was asking me this week what happened last week. And so, Emma, what's up? Welcome to the show. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you haven't already, check out dopelessnation.com, the world's hottest sober merch and recovery apparel on the planet. And if you're not subscribed to this podcast, go ahead and do that now. We're available on Spotify, Apple, Google, Anchor, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find us. If you're not following us on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, go ahead and look us up. Dopeless Nation. We're here for you. So I just want to get right into this. Earlier this week, I had the opportunity to present a topic at a meeting I was at, and I didn't know how to reel it in. I didn't know how to narrow it down. I had all this stuff in my head, a bunch of stuff that I wanted to share. I just get excited about recovery. So listen, this was the topic that was presented at this meeting I was at. I wrote this all out, I had typed it out, and I don't know, maybe I geeked over it too much, but I might be saying a lot of stuff that's completely wrong. And, if it is, I'm sorry. And if you get something out of it too, you find value out of this, cool. If you're finding value out of this podcast, share it with a friend. But the hope is that it just sparks a conversation, or it just puts an idea in your head to maybe look at something a little differently, or hit me up online, send me an email, reach out, let me know what you think. The coolest thing about this show is the conversation we have before and after each episode. The talk that happens online after the episode. Because I don't know anything. I'm just a guy who got sober and gets excited about sharing this with other people. Because it's in the sharing with other people and helping other people get to where I'm at that kind of sustains my sobriety one day at a time. Only by the grace of God. So this topic that I brought up, it was, do I have a drinking problem, a thinking problem, or a spiritual problem? Or is it all three? If I have a disease that centers in my mind, how can my sick mind think my way out of a thinking problem? You see, I thought my problem was drugs and or alcohol. I thought once I sobered up, life would magically fix itself. I didn't realize that I was still a slave to what the big book calls the bedevilments. It's talked about on page 52. It says, we were having trouble with personal relationships. We couldn't control our emotional natures. We were a prey to misery and depression. We couldn't make a living. We had a feeling of uselessness. We were full of fear. We were unhappy. We couldn't seem to be of real help to other people. Now, I don't know about you, but before sobriety, and even after putting the drink and drug down, those seemed to be the things that I struggled with. It wasn't the substances anymore. It was a mind game here on out. I'm talking after detox. I'm talking after physical cravings. From here on out, this is spiritual and emotional sobriety. It says in the doctor's opinion that the body of the alcoholic is quite as abnormal as his mind. So my thinking is essentially broken, flawed, not normal, sick, false, damaged, crippled. I mean, I am by every description of that definition. Somewhere else in that book that we're talking about, it's in There Is a Solution. It says, well, let's read this with I statements. It's on page 26 of There Is a Solution. It says, above all, I had believed I had acquired such a profound knowledge of the inner workings of my mind and its hidden springs that relapse was unthinkable. Nevertheless, I was drunk in a short time. Says he had profound knowledge of the inner workings of his mind. So I try to get sober. I start learning some things. I start hearing some things. I start repeating some things that I heard at a meeting or in therapy or in a group or with a conversation with somebody who's been able to stay away from a substance longer than me. And nothing really has happened in my heart internally. I've just remembered some information. I've come to conclusions about some things. This profound knowledge, this self-knowledge that did me no use because here it is resting in a broken mind. Page 39, but the actual or potential alcoholic, with hardly an exception, will be absolutely unable to stop drinking on the basis of self-knowledge. This is a point we wish to emphasize and re-emphasize, to smash home upon our alcoholic readers, as it has been revealed to us out of bitter experience. And if you're listening today to the podcast and you're hearing the word alcohol and that wasn't your cup of tea, let's reread it another way. But the actual or potential addict, with hardly an exception, will be absolutely unable to stop using on the basis of self-knowledge. This is a point we wish to emphasize and re-emphasize, to smash home upon our addicted reader, as it has been revealed to us out of bitter experience. And so we go back to There Is a Solution on page 27, where the doctor says, you have the mind of a chronic alcoholic. I have never seen one single case recover where that state of mind existed to the extent that it does in you. And so, boom, right? Done. Door slams, cell gets shut, the jail cell gets slammed shut, the gates of hell with a clang. There's no hope. Is there any hope? Is there any exception? Yes, replied the doctor, there is. Exceptions to such cases, such as yours, have been occurring since early times. Here and there, Once in a while, alcoholics, addicts have had what are called vital spiritual experiences. To me, these occurrences are phenomena. They appear to be in the nature of huge emotional displacements and rearrangements. Ideas, emotions, and attitudes, which were once the guiding forces of the lives of these men, are suddenly cast to one side, and a completely new set of conceptions and motives begin to dominate them. So this is alluding to a complete rearrangement of thought, thinking, psychic change, spiritual experience, whatever you want to call it. So my only hope explicitly hinges on having a vital spiritual experience. Nothing less than a complete psychic change can set me free from alcoholism. Heard that? So what do I do with that information? Let's go back to the doctor's opinion, where he says, in nearly all cases, my ideals must be grounded in a power greater than me if I am to recreate my life. Recreate my life. Not get my life back. Not go back to the same bullshit I was going through before I got here. Literally recreate my life. You know, somewhere else in the book, it talks about, it says, we were reborn. And I love that. In nearly all cases, my ideals must be grounded in a power greater than me if I am to recreate my life. Otherwise, I'm doomed to repeat myself over and over. And I know this because it also says this is repeated over and over. And unless this person can experience an entire psychic change, there is very little hope of recovery. It goes on to say, on the other hand, and strange as this may seem to those who do not understand, once a psychic change has occurred, the very same person who seemed doomed, who had so many problems, he despaired of ever solving them, suddenly finds himself easily able to control his desire for alcohol, drugs, sex, gambling, fill in the blank. The only effort necessary being that required to follow a few simple rules. What are those rules? Disclaimer, if you ain't about the fellowship, turn it off now, because I'm going to say it. If you haven't tuned out up to this point, I'm going to let you know what those few simple rules are. Sorry to piss you off. Here we go. The only effort necessary being that required to follow a few simple rules. What are they? The 12 steps. There it is. Yeah. 12 steps. There it is. That's it. One feels that something more than human power is needed to produce the essential psychic change. More than human power? So what? So now we're talking spiritual? If you didn't leave, if you didn't turn this off when I said 12 steps, if you got a problem with this now, go. Because we're talking spiritual. Page 64, how it works. This is what it says. It says, for we have been not only mentally and physically ill, we have been spiritually sick. When the spiritual malady is overcome, we straighten out mentally and physically. So basically, the spiritual problems require spiritual solutions. Let's go back to page 42 and more about alcoholism and land this motherfucking plane. We're talking 12 steps here. It says, then they outlined the spiritual answer and program of action, which 100 of them had followed successfully. Though I had been only a nominal churchman, Their proposals were not intellectually hard to swallow. But the program of action, though entirely sensible, was pretty drastic. It meant I would have to throw several lifelong conceptions out the window. That wasn't easy. But the moment I made up my mind to go through with the process, I had the curious feeling that my alcoholic condition was relieved. I had the curious feeling that my addicted condition was relieved. As in fact it proved to be, quite as important was the discovery that spiritual principles would solve all my problems. I have since been brought into a way of living infinitely more satisfying, and I hope more useful than the life I lived before. My old manner of life was by no means a bad one. But listen to this part. But I would not exchange its best moments for the worst I have now. I would not go back, even if I could. This guy said, I would not go back to it, even if I could. That's what I get out of this. That's what a lot of people that I love, that I look up to, that I respect, brothers and sisters in recovery, doing the damn thing. They'll tell you the same thing. Rain or shine, I wouldn't go back even if I could. All hell can break loose right now. No job, no car, can't see my son. Mother of my child thinks I'm a piece of shit. Whatever, you name it. Where I'm at right now, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm alive and I have time to work on those things. Whatever happens, I have to be okay. I gotta be. Emotional sobriety, I have to be. Because if I'm not, drinking, drugging might sound like a real good idea. I gotta be good under pressure. I gotta be able to take the heat. Kind of like a coal. After so much pressure, comes out shining like a diamond. You know what I mean? Coals, diamonds and coals. Got a good friend. Had a good friend. I don't know where we stand right now. Life is crazy. But once upon a time, me, him, a guy named Todd, we made a song called Diamonds and Coals. Mr. Sober Life, Clinton James, Ghost Stories, Todd Quick, Diamonds and Coals. Where you at? What do you want out of life? I'll see you next week.
I don't know what you plan to do with your life, but I know what I'm gonna do with mine. I'm gonna shine.
Palm trees, feel it, strong breeze spilling through the cracks with my windows down. It's the season, the big dreams living out. I came too far not to kill it. My life is diamonds. Cash down, I'm past that, give me the key. C4, hit 'em, it's no time for Billie Jean. Centipedes for the breeze of a guillotine. Dreams of a lost man free from amphetamines. From the cage to the stage, 3 felonies. Seep through the baseline, bleed through the singers. We cross to find a brand new recipe. Let them hate on me, they can't stop me when I drop diamonds. These streets can't hold them down right now, cause the change done caught them. Shouting, find me in the middle of the struggle with my eyes on the purest white diamond in the tunnel. And I love it, I can feel the increase coming. Windows down with the Clint James bumping. New day, new life, a new way. Just to get paid and maintain through all the way. Come on.
Diamonds and coals. Ain't always easy, but I'm shining. It's all in timing. My life is diamonds and coals. Ain't always easy,
the dark always
My
remind me
life
like
is diamonds and coals. Ain't always easy, but I'm shining. It's all in timing. My life is diamonds and coals. Ain't always easy, but I'm grinding. I always find them. My life is diamonds.
Yeah, I'm going in tonight. I feel so good, yeah, I feel so right. Been a little while since the boy took flight. Everything has changed since you saved my life.
is diamonds.
Yeah, I guess I saw the light. Pull me out of hell, now I shine so bright. Wait, now I'm feeling so nice. That's diamonds, baby, I'm cold like
My life
ice.
is diamonds. I could've lost my life. Should've drowned in the middle of the fight. But I'm grinding, trying to get it right. And I will make moves till I shine. My life is diamonds. And I'm shining brightly. The real Jehovah gonna give me the brightling. It might seem like we've been living a pipe dream, but I see the diamonds. You see the
My
life
life
is diamonds and coal.